What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle.
Greetings and welcome back to this mostly empty classroom. And to math lesson 25, which I'm also going to call the easiest math lesson you've done so far this year. All you'll need for this math lesson today is your math journal and a pencil. We're going to start taking our first bit of math notes today. So all you're going to do is just reproduce the page that I'm doing under the document camera. I want your page to look like my page. And it's because we're starting a new process today. We've done 2-digit numbers on top and 1-digit number down below for multiplying. We've even done 3 on top and 1 down below. Today is the first day we're doing 2 by 2. Okay? And so when you do 2 numbers on the bottom row, there's a couple extra steps involved, and I want to make sure we're all talking about it in the same way. So you're going to need to get your math journal. And I'm going to want you to open it up to the very center of your math journal. And it may seem tricky, but if you just kind of let your journal do it, it wants to open up to that page anyway. Okay? So you want to open to the very center. You'll know you've got it when you see a bunch of little cloth, like somebody sewed it with a needle and thread. There's thread that goes down the middle of the very center page. Okay? And I know it's tempting to take your pencil and start picking at that thread and running your pencil up and down. Resist temptation. I'm telling you, it'll shred your workbook and or your journal. You won't want to use it anymore. So grab this, open to the very center, and then I'll show you what to do. All right, now that you're open to the middle section of our math journal, at the top of this page, we're going to write math notes. And I'm going to try to do it kind of in bold, but you can do it in whatever kind of large lettering you want. So you're pretty much just going to produce a page that looks just like mine. That'll be your work for today. So you're following along right now, copying down what I'm doing. If you have to pause at any point to get caught up, do it, because a picture of your completed page is what we're looking for today. So I'm just going to do math, and if you can't do block letters or don't want to try doing block letters, that's fine. And then I'm going to do notes, but I'm not going to do it in block. Math notes. So a couple times we're getting into some stuff that's some new. We've been doing a lot of review and a lot of kind of just slowly advancing. We're about to jump into a couple of pretty new ideas, and I want to make sure we have a spot where we can be using the common language and be talking about it the same way. So math notes on this page. Once you have that, let's start with this first word is going to be slash. And I like for the slash, I like to draw a little picture of a lightning bolt on this one. There's my slash. Again, at any point if you need to pause and get caught up with me, that's fine. Slash. And then, well, I might even, since I've got a little yellow highlighter right here, I think I'm going to just even color him yellow. Next one, also, this is like 1, 2, 3, if we had some pretty big words. But notice I'm not just filling up the whole page right now. I want to get this all on one page. So the next one is drop. Slash, drop, and for this one, I like to draw a little like drop of water. I think the fancy way to do it is to kind of put a little bit of a hashtag right there, right? And since, oh man, this is lucky, I'm sitting next to my supplies, I've got my blue highlighter. I'm just going to color him blue like water. You obviously don't have to color him in. You can just draw him there. Slash, drop, and now here's the last one. Erase. Slash, drop, erase. And this is what I kind of like to do for the erase with my pencil. First I'm going to make a big patch of something. All right? And then with my eraser, I'm going to kind of cut a little path through there. See, I've now cut a path. And then I'm going to draw myself an eraser. Like a 3D one. And have it be kind of cutting through that mess. Like an old chalkboard eraser, sort of. Slash, drop, erase. Okay, and I'll zoom back out so you can see my page. I've got about half of my page used, and I've got my slash, drop, erase, and my math notes. So when you're caught up with me, then we'll move on. All right, so here's my first example, and this will tell you what slash, drop, erase is all about. So let's put a multiplication problem up here. So I'm going to put up 35 times 2. Okay. Now, if you've been following along with us, this should be no problem for you now. We've been doing this for over a week now, this 2-digit by 1-digit. Okay. We've also done some 3-digit, and we could probably do 4. So to solve this one, I would do 2 times 5 is 10. And then 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So 35 times 2 is 70. That's no problem. Now, let's say, again, you're copying this stuff down with me. I want to have you have the same stuff on your page for these examples. So for slash, drop, erase, let's say the problem was 35 times 12. 2 digits on top, 2 digits on the bottom. Here is where we needed to use our slash, our drop, and our erase. Okay, we ready? So it's going to start out the exact same as this one, right? You did 2 times 5 and then 2 times 3. So I'm going to start out with 2 times 5, which is still going to be 10, 1 up top, 0 down below. And here's where folks start to get a little bit confused, because every other time in math, we would then do like 1 times 3, right? You don't do that. We start out, we're working with the 2 until we're all done with him. So 2 times 5 is 10. Next move is going to be 2 times 3, which is 6, plus 1 is 7, which looks an awful lot like this guy so far, right? All right, so once I'm all the way done with this 2, there's nothing else for him to multiply. Now I need to slash, drop, and erase. So here's what I mean. Slash, I put a big line through the 2. That's what slashing is. Okay? And when I say drop, right underneath this 2, there's a 0. I'm going to go down one more spot and put a 0. I'm going to drop a 0. I'm going to slash the 2 because I'm all done with him. I'm going to go straight down from him. I'm dropping a 0. That's where the drop comes in. And then erase, the last one is I look for anything that might be hanging out up top, like this plus 1. I need to get rid of them because I need to have a nice fresh start for my next round. And so that's where the erase comes in. I'm pointing to something that doesn't exist, right? The erase, nothing there. Okay, so I did my first round, 2 times 5, 2 times 3, and now I have done my slash, my drop, and my erase. I've slashed the 2, dropped a 0, erased everything up top. Now I can move on to the next number. And so don't be tempted to go right to 1 times 3. I still need to start over here and work this way. So my first move is going to be 1 times 5. And that answer is going to be 5. So watch where I put that, right next to the 0 on the next row down. Okay, now my next move, I did the 1 times 5. Now it's the 1 times 3. 1 times 3 is, next to that, 3. So now look what I've got. I've got a 70 and I've got a 350. And the reason I've got that is because look what I've actually done. I've actually done 2 times 35, which is 70, and because it's over here, it's not necessarily 1 times 35. It's really 10 times 35, right? Because it's in the 10 spot. Well, 10 times 35 is going to be 35 with a 0 after it, right? So now I've got the 2 times 35 plus the 10 times 35. But we're doing it this way. So now all I have to do for this is add 0 and 0, 0, 5 and 7, 12. And 3 and 1 is 4. Okay? I want you to make sure you've got it written down just like I do with arrows and everything. That way, if you need to explain to your parents what slash drop erase means, they can see the different steps in there. I'm going to do one more example on this, and then that's going to be it for you. We're not going to do any more. We'll do some more tomorrow. So here, we'll do one more example, and I'll make the first version of it. Let's do 52 times 4. All right? And so this is a problem we're familiar with. We can do this problem. No slash drop erase needed because it's just 2 on top and 1 down below. So I'll try it. 4 times 2 is 8. That's the first one. And then 4 times 5 is 20. No 2's to put down there, so the whole 20 comes down. 208. All right, so now if I did that with 2 numbers in the bottom, let's say I had it to be 52 times 24. Now we'll need to use slash drop erase because there's more than one number on the bottom. But we're not scared because we just did this one already, and we can do that no problem. So I'm going to start out by pretending the 2's not there. I'm going to do 4 times 2. That's 8. My next move, 4 times 5 is 20. Nothing to put on top, so the whole 20 comes down. All right, I'm finished. There's nothing else for the 4 to do. He's done. It's time to slash, drop, and erase. Okay, so I finished with the 4. My first move is to slash the 4. See you later, pal. You're not going to bug me anymore. All right, next I'm going to drop. I'm going to go straight down from the 4. I'm going to go down underneath that 8 and drop a 0 down there. Okay, and in this case, I'm going to erase, but there's nothing to erase up here because nothing needed to be carried up top. So I slashed the 4, I dropped a 0, and I would have erased if there was anything to erase. Okay, now it's ready for a clean start. I'm ready for the 2. I start with the 2, and I go this way. Start 2 times 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. Put it down right next to the 0. And my next move is 2 times 5, and that one is going to be 10. Put the whole 10 down here. Now I've got those 2 numbers. I don't need to do any slashing and dropping because there's nothing else to do. I'm just done with that part. Now I'm adding those 2 together, and then I've got it. I've got 8 plus 0 is 8. 0 plus 4 is 4. 2 plus 0 is 2, and 1. 1,248. Okay, slash, drop, erase. I'm going to hold this right here for a bit. Again, at any point, you can pause and make sure your page looks like my page, okay? Because that's the whole goal for today is for you to have the same math notes that I have so that when we keep going on with lessons, I know that we're all on the same page, you know, no pun intended, okay? So here it is in its full glory. Actually, it needs to be full more glorious. There it is. There it is in full glory. All right. Now that your journal is looking pretty much like mine, hopefully, all you have to do is take a picture of it and then upload that picture. That's all. We're not doing any other math today except for having you have your page look just like mine. And then in the rest of this week, we'll be working on those 2x2s and maybe even some 3x2s if we get crazy. But I want to make sure we're on the same page as far as language goes. So send a picture of that in, and we'll see you tomorrow.